to Face, the program
that frontally discusses
political and social issues in Nigeria. The weekly program brought to you on Wednesday by 6 p.m. Nigerian time, anchored by Prince Ewemade Concourse, powered by GCSDN.
Join us.
We are live. Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Face to Face program. My name is Prince Ewemade Konkon. Today we're going to be having a discussion around the educational sector in Nigeria. The topic for today is, should Nigerians abolish the National Youth Service Corps, which is known as the NYSC? What is your opinion or your thought on this? We're also going to be joined in the studio by our regular contributor on this program, Chief Dr. MD. Well, before I bring him to the studio, many Nigerians are of the opinion that in the Youth Service Corps service should be abolished, because some argue that it's completely a waste of time. For example, someone who study medicine or study chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, or what have you. They sometimes, most of the time, they've been sent to villages around Nigeria to teach students in class, to teach them. They are not teachers. So based on this opinion, based on this assessment, many Nigerians are of the opinion that the National Youth Service Corps should be completely abolished, because it's not done in the Western climate. So they believe this should be completely abolished by the Nigerian government. Well, I'm going to bring Chief MD to weigh in on this program. Chief MD, you are live. You are welcome to today's edition of Face to Face, and we want to get your thought on the Nigerian.
Thank you very much for having me, as usual.
What is your take? Should the National Youth Service Corps be abolished? Based on my opening statement.
You see, one of the things that we have in Nigeria is the problem to imagine something different or something new. Because NYSC started in 1973 or so, there about 1773, between that time. And at the time NYSC started, it was fit for purpose then. We have lower skilled people, most especially in education and everything. At this point, I strongly believe NYSC has outdated itself and it needs to be scrapped. And I don't think it's serving the purpose which it was designed, and it's becoming a fraudulent thing for some people, and also a fraudulent thing for private enterprise and organization of cheap labor for a year. And it also detrimental to the youth, even for youth development. I think this is the thing. Every year, if you have an NYSC student, let's just take a school, for instance. Let's take a random primary school. Every year, they have 5 NYSC students or 10 to come and teach for free or some minimum wage amount for a year. These students that they've sent there to go serve and teach there, they have no teaching qualification. They have no teaching experience. They have no childhood development. They go into the class teaching from just teaching academics. They're not teaching development. Education is about development. And after they finish their 1 year, they've gone. Another teacher comes in. Let's say this group of people take this child for 1 year, primary 1. This child to primary 2 now is a different youth teacher that comes in. That teacher doesn't have an history record or anything understand for their previous learning style or absorption style or teaching style, which it doesn't have. But it's also gone through a syllabus that somebody prepared, and I start teaching and doesn't even know the student, how they like to learn, the kind of workshop, the kind of It takes a teacher to be able to do that, a qualified, trained teacher. And what that happens is, because we keep getting this 3, 4, 5 free, cheap labor NYSC students coming to the school to teach, it does not allow the school to actually now develop their teachers, recruit more training teachers. Also, those who want to go into education, it also deprives them opportunity. What's the point? After you graduate, you're competing with NYSC teachers who are not qualified trainers. Why have you gone to school to have education qualification, childhood development, and everything? Yeah, every time you bring in a new, this is why going in a civilized place, when they want to recruit anybody, they want to see that you are there for a long time. You're not recruiting somebody who's using their position as a stepping stone or an apprenticeship. You're going to be there for a long time, because they don't want to spend the energy training you to do the same thing. And any new job you take in, it's about 3 to 6 months before you master it, even though if it's your field. And guess what? By this NYSC student, they go in there 3 to 6 months. By the time they master, it's about time for them to leave. Problem. And that is the issue. So for businesses, and when you now put an NYSC student that is in the field, that is not planning to, after spending 1 year, you've actually deprived somebody who's actually qualified in that field a job. Where NYSC student is replacing him for a year, another one coming to replace him. So what is the point? Going to spend 3, 4, 5 years in studying, yeah. By the time you graduate and back, your actual desired job, NYSC is somebody is doing it for a year of practice. And that's the point. It short-changed labor development. It directed the youth energy. I would reimagine NYSC by turning all their campuses across Nigeria for a job training skill, not more than 3 months. Not more than 3 months, job training and entrepreneurship. Once you graduate, you look for a state of your choice, of the state of your choice, where you go in for minimum a month. They do you at job training skills, social enterprise skill, self-employment skill, how to become your own business person. And that is also open to every youth. I'll give first priority choice to NYSC to new graduates, where they go for job coaching, interview techniques. Our employers come and meet with them. Employers looking for recruits and go to the camp to find students in certain of those campus to also link local jobs, employable jobs across the state. That's what they should be doing for each graduate. Also, non-graduate people as well, youth looking for a job, trying to develop their skill. We also run skill programs for them.
Thank you so much.
Partner them with skill development, or partner them with apprenticeship. Yeah.
Thank you so much. For those of you who are just joining us, the topic for today is, should Nigerian abolish the National Youth Service Corps, which is known as the NYSC. We want to also get your feedback on this. For those of you who do not understand what the NYSC stands for, the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC of Nigeria, was established on May 22nd, 1973, during the regime of General Yakubu Gowon, as a way to help rebuild Nigeria after the Civil War. That was why the NYSC was established on May 22nd, 1973. The purpose was national unity, encouraging and developing common ties among Nigerian youth to promote national unity. Self-reliance, helping Nigerian youth to develop a spirit of self-reliance and economic empowerment. Nation building, enabling Nigerian youth to participate effectively in nation building. Inclusiveness, promoting national inclusiveness and tolerance in Nigeria cultural diverse society. I am of the opinion today that the NYSC has already outlived its purpose, and the reason is that in the Western climate that we reside, you and I reside in here, there's no such thing as a National Youth Service Corps. When you graduate from university, you look for a job, or you look for a place where you can do an internship if you want. But that's your choice. It's not mandated by any law or anything in the constitution. Whereas in Nigeria, it is mandatory that you must participate in the NYSC. There's no way you must participate. So I am of the opinion, and just some also with you, that this should be abolished, because the purpose for which this was established was to help rebuild the nation called Nigeria after the Civil War in 1973. So I think at this point in time in Nigeria, in the nation history, looking at all that has transpired and how some persons in the government have been able to use the NYSC in the fraudulent ways, it should be completely abolished. To you, Chief MD, don't you think at this point in time in our nation history, after listening to the purpose, the aims, why it was established in 1973, do you still think that the need for it with Nigeria as a nation, do we still have a need for that service today? Chief MD,
No,
can you hear
we
me?
don't. It's over 50 years old. And we've been doing it since 50 years ago for one purpose, to bring unity. How does it unify us? If you have money, if your child have money, Zamfara, would you allow your child to go? Even those who from Zamfara don't want to go there. Would you allow your child in current climate to go to Zamfara to go and volunteer, where NYC students were being kidnapped, killed? No, this benefit has expired. The purpose has expired. Now it's just a fraudulent thing for some. It's pure government waste. It's pure government waste, and it's not allowing government to actually look at the unemployment level of youth and how to develop it, and how to give them opportunity to grow. And it's also labor. The labor union should be against NYSC at this point, because it's also changing training skill. This is why the skill level of Nigerians has gone down drastically. The skill level has gone down because every year, and averagely given, we have close to 200,000 to 300,000 or more graduates who sustain the labor force and kept the wages low. If you take that out, that we need to focus on developing, there will be much more employment. I do not want somebody who spent 6-7 years studying to become a medicine, then spend 1 year out of his or her life being a teacher. I was on a differential with somebody and said, oh, we have shortage of farmers. We should force those basically NYSC students to go into farming for 1 year for cheap labor. Where is the logic? So you're going to send somebody to school 4 years, let's just assume, without the strike and the BS. After that person graduates, you now say she go and spend 1 year in farm. And the person was saying, oh, look at Israel, they have conscript army, and look at Ukraine, and they have conscript army. So I say, yeah, Israel have conscript army because they're occupying a foreign land. They're occupying Palestine. And they need their constant army to go on to be able to keep occupying Palestine. Ukraine is at war. In our own case, this is mismanagement and fraudulent. It's good right now. It's just dangerous to the continuous development of Nigerian labor force. We need to develop Nigerian labor force. And the way the Nigerian labor union needs to kick against NYSC because it's taking away. They should NYSC needs to be reimagined. I need to say this to those who can hear. It needs to be reimagined. It doesn't need to be more than 3 months maximum, 2 to 3 months to train the new graduate on how to be self-employed, how to job search and job skills, and update their basic ICT skills. That is very important. For 3 months, learn the computer programming, and everything. It's only in Nigeria you study computer program, you never have a use of computer. Also, it's a place where they do job workshop. So they invite companies and businesses to come to that place to come and recruit new graduates within that 3 months of space. You can go to any state. You choose to do it. It shouldn't be mandatory that they send you to Zamfara for 3 months or they send you to Imo State for 5. No, you could decide I'm going to go to this youth camp in Zamfara for 3 months. Why? I meet new different people, and within that 3 months, we're going to do intensive job training, job skill, and self-employment. And you attach it with grant or funding for those with great ideas who want to start up a new business. You attach it with funding. That will cut down a lot of unemployed graduates looking for job. After 1 year of them serving, they're on the street. We are the highest amount of graduate unemployed. We've not taught them in university how to be entrepreneur. We've not also given them opportunity to actually job search. How do you job search in Nigeria? Unless you know somebody. There's no predominantly job searching website or skill. Or look at in UK, they have the job center where you can go to look for job. We don't have none of that. NYSC should be that. The job center place. They train you your skill. 3 months. Your graduate, you go there to learn how to be self-employed, how to gain skills, how to job search, how to set up a business, run a business if you want to. A networking job where they invite employers, companies to come and meet new graduates. Each center should be run independently like that with finance from the state, not from the federal government, from the state. And you will see how that will transform it. And we should stop sending these young people to school to be a teacher where that age gap between the secondary school and the school are not that much. It's about safeguarding as well. Nobody's talking about the safeguarding element of that. It's very wrong. That's why our education system is dumbed down. We're not training our teachers. We're not educating our teachers because we have this youth service close to 200-300 a year, Hammy, that comes in. No training qualification, no experience, no knowledge. They're now giving students to train, to educate, and assess. Even if we were to have this youth core people training, they should not be allowed to assess students. They should just give the lectures. But the assessment, the setting of the exams, and the management of that should be in the hands of the professionals. That's it.
Thank you.
In the hands of the professionals. But we need more teachers. But we need more to become a teacher.
Yeah, let me ask you this. In the UK where you reside, let me ask you this question. In the UK where you reside as well, do they have something like NYSC where it's mandatory for students after graduating from university to participate in a program for a mandatory 1 year, just like they have in Nigeria? Do they have something like that in the UK?
They don't. They don't. Because it's even, at least in UK, yeah, college student loan from the government to finance their education. In Nigeria, Nigerian government is not even giving you loan. They're not paying for your school fees. They're not supporting you. They even victimize you. And then after 1 year, they demand for you to serve them, even done nothing for you. You know, this Tinubu regime is now setting up student loan scheme. That student loan will also be embezzled and stopped by some non-official without any prosecution. Even when you get those loans to go to those schools and pay for it. For you to get it to be drama, but it's still your loan. It's not a gift. Then put the mandate on free for the government. There's nothing like that in any civilized world. A youth service corps is a fraudulent thing to cheat, number one, labor. Number two, abuse the young people and take advantage of them. And number three, stop us from developing the proper skill needed. The NYSC needs to be reimagined. It needs to be reimagined. And posting people random places across everywhere. No, those centers need to start. You have to make them start applying for those students. If you study in Maiduguri or in Kano or in Lagos, you most likely want to stay local there that you're familiar with. That is okay. It doesn't mean you're from Lagos or you're from you. That's okay. Let them go to the youth camp of their nearest choice. Let them learn the skill. They're most likely going to be able to set up a business there. But if you take somebody who from Kaduna all the way to Lagos or from Lagos all the way to Sokoto, they can't wait their 1 year to get out back to where they are. Or no, it has no contributing value. They will not even see any development opportunity in that area apart from to get out. They will not see opportunity to even settle or make a life. And that's how society grows. And that's how development grows. We need to abolish this NYSC program the way it is.
Thank you so much. What you just mentioned now was also on my mind. For example, someone from Edo State origin, after graduating from university, would be sent all the way to the northern part of Nigeria to go serve. Just like you rightly said, it would have been appropriate for someone who went to school in Kaduna to also serve in Kaduna State. That would have been appropriate, because considering the insecurity factors in some of those states in the northern part of Nigeria, you're sending somebody who is not familiar with the way of life in the north, all the way from south to go to the north to go serve. That doesn't make sense. So that is why I am of the opinion, also adding my voice to those Nigerians out there who wished for the NYSC to be completely scrapped, because it's completely rubbish. It has already outlived the purpose. The purpose was to rebuild the nation called Nigeria after the Civil War. Civil War is over 50 years ago. So that the National Assembly, the Senate, they should revisit the law and have this NYSC program that mandate Nigerians to serve 1 year mandatory according to the law, completely removed. Because that 1 year, they could spend that 1 year doing something else with their life after graduating from the university. Nobody does that in the Western clime. You also attest to that now, that it doesn't happen in the UK. But I just wanted the audience to also hear from you. Anyway, today this is just we're not going to spend that much time flogging issues on the NYSC topic, but I want to give you 5 minutes to address your fellow Nigerians and the government of Nigeria and the Senate, the legislators in particular, on what you think is way forward for this the issue of the National Youth Service Corps.
Something as well. I also want to quickly
you can add it to your 5. You have 5 minutes to speak directly to the government of Nigeria.
All right. In addition to what I'm going to say before I draw a conclusion, a quick thing, I think our education system in Nigeria needs to be overhauled. We need to change the way we do education in Nigeria. And one of the thing we need to start with is this. There are some private schools. Most of the Nigerians, if you have money, your child can start school from the age of 1 year old. By the time it's 5 years old, they already finished primary 6. We should go back to the days where we have a cutoff date when a child must start school, when he's old enough to start school. That is in a generous way, 7 years old. It must be 6 plus 7 years to start primary 1. And there's some schools they cut off primary 6. They just after primary 5 they put them in class 1 already. That should be stopped, because the child is just going through the emotion of learning, not actually developing. And that is education reform. That should be stopped, both private and public schools. Another thing is, when they get to GS3, we need to reform our education system, that every GS3, before you go to SS1, every GS3, you spend 1 year of technical school. Instead of going, because we are really short of skills. Many of these children today you have in Nigeria growing up, they don't even know how to even change a plug, a fuse, or even basic thing, even know how to open a bonnet of a car. Yeah, your parents may not have a car, but it's a life skill. So for GS 3 years, you need to change the education from whereby they come to school twice a week. The rest 3 days of the school time, they are in a local environment within their geographical location, learning skills, and they will be assessed. And the teacher must confirm they are attending. Either a mechanic shop, a tailor shop, a pastry, a hairdressing salon, anything local skill for 1 year. We need to do that. By the time they now come back, yeah, not every one of them may come back to do the SS, because they've developed a skill and they find a passion and say, this is my pathway to life. That is great. But those who come back to SS1 after their 1 year of learning skill and trade, they are now much more rounded person. Their education now more makes sense. Their pathway is not clearer to them. And that is what we need. We need to reimagine education in Nigeria differently. The way we're delivering education right now does not meet any standard. It does not provide to the future generation of skilled people we need. Nigeria, for instance, we are highly short of skill-based people. We are short of bricklayers. We are short of motor mechanics. We are short of tailors. We are short of bakers. We're short of hairdressing people. Now there's no money to even go do the course. And when they do, there's not enough of them. You will never go to a tailor shop and find the tailor idle. Many of those skillful tailors cannot even find more skillful tailor to help them to sew. Same with mechanics. So JSS 3, education needs to be reformed. So fellow Nigerians, fellow educators, and most especially the government policy people, I speak directly to you. Many of you have lived in the Western world, and you see how education is being cherished, it's being delivered. We need to reimagine how education needs to be delivered and thought in Nigeria. We need very high skilled people right now. Our skill base is too academic. It's too academic. An average child now doesn't have the basic skill to do anything. And what we call education in Nigeria is what we call stupidity over here. It's development. Development. If we now take education and focus on development, a child of primary 1 must have developed very well by the time he reaches primary 6 to know some things different. 1 + 1 and the ability to speak a foreign language, English language, does not make that child a developed child. It's just going through the motion of school, 4 walls of school. We need to focus on development. So I'm talking to policy people in Nigeria. Education needs to be reformed. 1, NYSC needs to be abolished or changed to fit the purpose of today. No people should be moved around everywhere to go and cover a job base. They should reduce it to 3 months, where those people stay in a camp. In the camp is to teach them how to be an entrepreneur, how to set up jobs, how to enhance their job style skills, how to teach them basic ICT. No job right now that you don't have a computer skill knowledge or ability to use computer. And then invite employers to the camp to come talk to them about job sites, how to start career, how to motivate them for 3 months, and then let them go back to their local community and find something to do. And that way, even within that 3 months, it's not mandatory that you do it. If you get a job, you graduated within that 3 months. It's a job searching place. And the rest of the year, they use to develop other people's skills. And we need to change our delivery of education. So Nigerians, this is the root cause of a majority of our problem. We have a lot of ungraduate people, if that makes sense. They graduate on paper, but they're not mentally developed. They graduate undeveloped people, can't put a structural sentence together, have 0 skills. Everything they know is just in the book. They have limited skills. If you want to, they need that GS3 year to learn technical skill. The rest 3 years before they go to university or further education is where they put the foundation to get into university, the pathway they want to go to. Those who want to do science, who want to go medicine, want to do everything. That's the SS years they do that. Anything before then is preparing them to have a skill. From GS1 to GS3, preparing them to understand the basic and have a skill. And once you understand the basic, you develop a personal skill, you go into SS, you prepare for yourself to get into university. We also should scrap jam. Jam has turned to, it's only jam. I saw monkey, or is it snake or monkey that ate 40 million? Why are you paying jam to a government parastatals for you not to even back? We need to scrap jam and let people, let the university recruit students directly. Let them compete for students. Let the university set the standard for their course. If you want to qualify, and we also need to remove this essence of metric, quota system metric, or this. We need to have a reference, but don't lower the standard. That if you are from this region, for you to go and do medicine, you only need 3 F9 and 1 pass because you are from this standard. We don't have many of you in that field to do medicine. Fine, maybe there's other areas your standard will meet. And those are the things, because it's education, it's not politics. Let's educate. Not every one of us will be doctors, not every one of us will be lawyers, not every one of us will be engineers, not every one of us will be pilots, not every one of us will be teachers. Every one of us will take an interest that we're exposed to. And that's the only way we need to take away that quota system, because we also need to take away the jam thing and let university, let students apply directly to university. Once they apply, they change the jam fee to admission fees. Then out of the admission fees for that university, the university pays to the education department for other management stuff. They pay a fee back to education. So that we don't exploit students, because you see a lot of students pay a fortune to do jam, and still they don't meet the cutoff, or the artificial cutoff. If you're from Edo State, because Edo State is highly educated people, for you to do basic history, you have to get about 500 points. But if you are from Sokoto, you just need 100 points. I'm not saying that's a fact. I'm just saying you need 100 points to study history in JAM. So what are you going to get? What is the output you're going to get from that person that have 100 points to go and do history, law, or medicine with 3 JSC, 3 SS, YX, and 1 pass? You're going to have a substandard history teacher, or a substandard doctor, or a substandard lawyer, because that's a quota education you've done, not an actual education. If so happen that everybody from Edo State want to be a teacher, you don't see, because of that, you increase the standard of people from Edo State to get into our institution to study teaching, and lower the standard for somebody from Delta State who is not interested in becoming a teacher, because to encourage them to go into teaching. No, they might be interested in other things. Education is about development with interest. We need to scrap that quota system. We need to scrap that jam target, and we need to let people want to apply for the course. Let those who want to do it apply for it and then go for it. We also need to abolish that tribal system that, oh, if you are not from Lagos State, you can't do medicine in Lagos. If you are not origin from Kano, you can't do law from Kano. No, we need to scrap that. You might want to go some, like in a civilized society, some children will want to leave their home, like my son want to go far away. My daughter wants to go as far as Scotland, and that's okay, because some people might be in Borno and say, you know what, I've heard so much about Edo State, I want to go study there. Apply for Uniben. And Uniben saw, okay, you meet our criteria, we give you a place. Likewise, some people might be in Lagos and say, you know what, I've heard so much about Borno State, I want to go study in Maiduguri University. I applied. Once they apply, you have the administrator, they look at it, you're welcome. They give you offer, pay your registration, admission fees, your admission fees, out of which the university pay government a percentage to continue with the administration and everything, and student registration, everything is done. Boom, like that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution to this program today. Fellow Nigerians, we have come to the end of this segment. Like I said during my opening statement, the purpose for which the National Youth Service Corps was established on May 22nd, 1973 has already outlive its purpose. Outlives its purpose. I beg your pardon me. So therefore, there is no need for us to continue to have our students after grad spending 4 years in the university to go and on a 1 year mandatory service. This is not feasible anymore, considering the fact that Civil War is over 50 years ago. So I'm using this opportunity to call on the Nigerian Senate, the National Assembly, and the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to scrap the NYSC. There's no need for it. Most of you, the lawmakers today, you also got your education from the Western world. There's no such thing as NYSC, National Youth Service Corps. They don't have it in the Western clime. So I don't see why Nigeria should continue on this path. So for me, it should be scrapped completely. I want to thank you for being part of this program and always for being part of this program. And I look forward to see you again, same time, same place next week. My brother Chief MD, thank you.
Thank you very much.